Live from La Cocina Studios, this is 201st edition of the HWR show. This is Abel.
This is Travis.
This is Chris.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you're live, you know everything that's been going on. We very much appreciate you. Thank you for sticking through with us. If you're on the Facebook, or excuse me, if you're on the YouTube, you could chat along with us. Tell me what's going on. Tell me, how everything is going, and then we'll interact with you.
Let us know if you don't hear us.
Yeah. I'll see it, and then we'll act accordingly. If you're not watching us live, then hey, that's okay. You can still interact with us on Facebook, facebook.com/HoustonWrestlingRadio, or on Twitter at HWrestlingRadio. Hell, we even has an Instagram page that Randy runs. But yeah, Instagram too. Yay, pictures. They make everything better.
Enough for that. On to the show.
Okay.
What do we got?
Whoa, okay.
So we try to avoid the CWC spoilers because it was going on last week. It sounds like we've talked about this before, but we're going to try to run through it pretty quick. I failed miserably. I saw Facebook as soon as I got in the car. Travis got failed miserably like 30 minutes later. And then 30 minutes after that, Abel succumbed to the need of knowing.
Well, I didn't need to know. It was thrust upon me. But,
All right, so the first match we had was Grand Metalik versus Zach.
Wait, who?
Do we need to try this for a fourth time? Grand Metalik. Metalik.
Yeah.
Metalik.
Try it again.
You could be like Daniel Bryan and Grand Metalik.
Yeah. Grand Metallica. Okay.
Yeah! Hardwired.
All right, so
Wrong band.
that guy versus Zack Sabre Jr., for me, that was just a nonstop match. That was just fun, like from get-go. Like, because from the jump, Grand Metalik, he tried to take him out quick, and from that moment, from that first time, it kept going on. The match was going back and forth. It was really fun for the whole match. That was the best I've seen Metalik in this whole tournament.
The crowd helped because every episode of CWC I've seen, Metalik wasn't as over as he was in this final episode.
And that was against Zack Sabre Jr. Last week I we
picked at his flaws
about his selling and his offense and everything. And
while being from England,
while it's unique, his style, I don't think it really fits what WWE goes for. Like Daniel Bryan loves that shit.
Yeah,
but overall, it's like a weird style that.
Like, if you can't turn anybody into a ball, I don't give a fuck.
Well, and besides that, it's like he doesn't sell anything. Like he gets kicked in the face and he walks up and just kind of shrugs it off or whatever. It's just he has a weird style of what he does. But just the amount of the counters and submissions in that match,
yes,
that made it really stand out from what we've seen before.
Yeah, I don't think
both guys.
I don't think it was your standard Cruiserweight X Division flippy dippy spot monkey fest. It was definitely different, and a lot of that is because of Zack Sabre and just like the counters and the chain wrestling and the scientific stuff. And I loved it, and I loved the fact that Grand Metalik went 100 miles per hour right from the get-go. Right. That was his strategy, and he was going to go from jump. Yeah, I mean, this was a tournament that, for the most part, with the exception of maybe like 2 or 3 instances, there wasn't really storyline. In there. It was just random dudes that were all badass wrestlers who were just going to throw together. And the finals really had that same potential of just being, we're going to have 3 badass matches and that's it. But I really, really like the psychology. I know it's not really storytelling, but more psychology of the way that match started where, hey, Grand Metalik knew he was basically the underdog and he was going to have to take the fight to Sabre. And that's what he did. And he went boom, 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 boom. 100 miles per hour, and I loved it. I loved it because of that.
I think the bigger underdog would have been TJ Perkins because
I agree.
I would fail to see if anyone had anyone other than Kota Ibushi winning this thing. I had Kota Ibushi winning this thing.
Well, somebody did.
Well, Scott.
How about this? I think Kota, and to a lesser extent, Zack Sabre Jr. were both favorites to win. Like I thought, yes, the majority of people thought it was going to them two fighting for the finals. Now those predictions, for lack of a better word, that was everybody thinking that when it was just for a cup, when it was just for the trophy.
Yes.
Did that? Because I think we knew before the taping that there was going to be, it was for the championship, right? Mm-hmm. And the championship was going to go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, did that change who you thought was going to win this thing?
Oh, it definitely makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
You know, with the Bushi, it's like, okay, he's got his New Japan obligations. Right. New Japan and ROH, they could pull that kind of shit off.
Yeah.
But WWE, not so much. So Ibushi, I can see how like everybody would think, oh, he should be the odds-on favorite. He probably is the best wrestler in that tournament. But contractually, he has obligations to New Japan.
Right.
You could. So I see him. I see the reason why they gave it to Perkins and not to Ibushi. You know, Zack Sabre, I don't know. With Zack Sabre, it's like, well, he's not really.
Yeah, he didn't sign a contract.
He's not signed with anybody, you know, as far as I know. I mean, he's just an indie guy, right?
I don't know.
Not Evolve or anything, but or maybe something Revolution, maybe in the UK.
Yeah, but I'm sure they don't have. It's not on the level of New Japan and WWE.
Right.
So, with that logic, it makes sense to me to limit or to eliminate Ibushi. You know, just from that contract standpoint. But like, who is going to actually be your champion that you could book week in, week out on Raw? Well, it kind of makes sense if it was TJ. It makes a lot of sense.
Or Great Metallic, but we'll get to that here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So you like that first match also?
Yeah.
Okay. What about TJ Perkins versus Kota? We kind of touched on it just a second ago, but I mean,
I love that match too. All three of the matches, the semifinals and the finals, all three of those matches are match of the week candidates for me. I mean, I hate to sound like a giddy little schoolgirl Mark, but I mean, shit, all three of those matches were match of the week candidates.
I was wired as fuck at 2 a.m. Thursday morning when I finished watching the whole thing, but that was Thursday morning. A lot of stuff has happened since then, so I can't be as elaborate as we would be had we had watched it like an hour or two before we started recording. But I do remember in the back of my mind having the same thought that you did. Is like, I can't choose from the three which of them is going to be my pick of match of the week, but they're all up there.
Actually, I did.
Okay.
I was able to.
Which one?
Well, first of all, the TJP versus Kota, that was a solid, strong style match, which made it a little differ from the first match that we saw. There was a really good sequence of TJ. He reversed a power bomb into a DDT, which followed up with a lung blower.
Yes.
Like that whole sequence just was beautifully done. My only nitpick about this match, and as good as it was, it ain't perfect. I think, in my mind, I think they made TJ kick out of too much stuff.
Okay.
I think that match should have ended a few segments before it actually did, because, dude, he was like super standing out of everything. I mean, there was some legit moves or sequences and build-ups and finishes that didn't have to be false finishes. And it would have been, okay, that, you know.
That's the end. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that makes, and because they were killing each other out there, and a strong style match, I guess. But, I mean, I got to a point where I was watching, and I was like, dude, how long is this match going to be? And, like, how much stuff is he going to kick out of? And there's only so much.
And this is the semifinals.
Exactly. So,
did you get a little nervous twinge when they announced that the final match was going to be a 60-minute time limit?
No.
Didn't matter?
To me, it didn't matter.
Okay. No.
Well, I can see why it mattered to you, because you were the guy from day one who was saying that, hey, if they're announcing time limits, you know there's going to be a time limit shenanigan thing somewhere along the lines in this whole damn tournament. Yeah. And it never happened.
That's my biggest disappointment. Is our microphone still working?
I hope so.
I don't know why it's a disappointment to you, man. It's just, that's the whole presentation of these matches. It was meant, the whole thing was meant to feel old school. Yeah, and it did to me. That was a note I was going to get to in a second. But after I was watching it and said and done, in the presentation after the fact of the winning the cup and the belt, it just felt old school. Even not India, but like New Japan style, like the
medallions. That each of the finalists got.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And the whole the time limit things. That was just all part of it. For me, that's the way I felt. It was part of the overall presentation of this old school tournament for a cup. But you know what? We're going to put a twist on it. And, hey, this guy that's going to win the cup, he's going to be the champion for all.
It was definitely more sports than entertainment, which is kind of weird to say for something that is very heavily influenced X Division-ish style. Right. You know? But it was great. But, okay, you said that you had a match that you wanted to nominate out of the three as your match of the week.
Oh, real quick, the final match?
Well, never mind.
Well, yeah, I'm just real quick. I just want to say that the presentation from Triple H before the match started, nicely done. And I love the reaction when the fans saw the belt.
Oh,
yeah.
That was like a total 180 of the Universal title.
Yes. Yes.
That
Deservedly so. That match or that belt's fucking beautiful. I love that belt. And I love it despite the fact that, oh, it's purple. Oh, that's a stupid color for whatever. No, it's not stupid. It looks good. It fits, and it's nicely designed.
It's tied in because whenever you think about the cruiserweights now, you're gonna think of this. You're gonna think of this classic, and and that title is gonna harken back to that. So it was one of the things that Perkins was saying about. He's like the start of a new legacy.
This belt isn't me as a champion. This is all 32 of us that make this go. The only disagreement I have. I'm willing to bet that if Triple H pulled out the WWE Universal title and said this is going to be the Cruiserweight title, the crowd would have been just as over because that crowd was not expecting that payoff to be a title that they were going to start on Raw. That crowd, for the most part, was expecting, all right, the winner gets the tournament and they get and then we'll do it again next year because they kept throwing it out inaugural.
Right.
This might not be the only one. So I was like, all right, trophy fine. So if they would have brought out a red belt with this huge WWE logo on it, all covered in red, looked like somebody that came out of a woman's vagina, they would have still loved it because, dude, the fucking Cruiserweights busted their hump, and now they're getting a belt and a trophy? Like, fuck yeah. That crowd would have ate, and it's Full Sail. That marquee crowd, they would have ate that up no matter what color the rainbow it was.
Well, you might be right, but at the same time, just based on pure aesthetics, not what's going into the situation or whatever, pure aesthetics, I kind of like the way the Cruiserweight belt looks over the Universal belt. Now, I wasn't one of the ones that was like complete haters of the Universal belt. Oh, God, it fucking sucks. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, they could have done better, but whatever. Because I didn't shit all over it. But if you just take those two belts side by side, not knowing what is for what, I like the Cruiserweight belt more. That's just me.
I said that the first match had it was just a nonstop fun match. The second match was a strong style match. The third match, to me, I don't know if it was because of endurance issues, because they've gone to other matches before this, or if it was designed on purpose. But that last match, it felt old school, like 90s WCW Cruiserweight styles.
Okay.
There wasn't any like ridiculous, crazy flip-a-dip. There was some, but nothing that you wouldn't have seen back like Dean Malenko or Jericho doing back in the 90s.
They WWE showed a clip of the top 10 Cruiserweight moves. And on that move list, among guys like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, was Gran Metalik doing the leap over the top rope to grab TJ Perkins' head scissors and do the Hurricane Rana off of the apron. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, damn, that's a cool spot. They replayed it in slow motion. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like a beautiful move.
Oh
when
my
they
God.
slowed it down.
Yeah, you realize what he did. Like in the split second, you're like, oh wow, cool, a Hurricane Rana. But you don't notice that until they replayed it. Like my mind was damn near blown.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the winner, TJ?
I'm happy with it. I mean, my money was on Zack Sabre or
get into the finals. Get into the finals.
But get into the finals, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I don't think I would have been unhappy with anybody, any of those four. Any of those four. I don't think I would have been unhappy, to be honest. Now, if like, I don't know, fucking
Noam Dar.
Well, no, I would have been happy if it was Noam Dar too. But if it was like fucking Ho Ho Lun or something, I'd be like, whatever.
No, the overall the bracket of the whole thing, I think it funneled down. It funneled down very nicely.
It did. Yeah.
I'd have a problem with Gran Metalik cutting a promo if he's talking like this with the mask in the way. Like TJ Perkins, he's been ready. Yes. And the promo he cut after he won the match just serves that's the guy that you want to build a division around. That's your mini John Cena for the next 6 months.
Yes.
Make it around him, and you're good to go.
And see, the other thing about him too is that I noticed all the people in the finals, when they came out and had their entrances, none of the four finalists had an American flag on their Titantron. They all were from somewhere else, which was really cool considering it was this global thing. WWE, you would think that it would have been like one foreign guy and like
Gargano against Ciampa.
Yeah, and like that's it. Because
it's our guys. We know we're rigging it.
Yeah. You
break out the shovel, Triple H.
But that's not what they did. They said, hey, we're gonna make this an international thing, and all 4 of the final 4 were guys that are international, and the one guy that was probably the best English talker out of all of them, except for Sabre, of course, you know, they gave it to Perkins, which is great. And I don't know, he was able to actually work the stick. I mean, he's not The Rock, but hey, he's more competent than, I don't know, Nakamura on cutting promos.
That's the thing. That's when I saw it, I said, oh, that makes sense, because Great Metalik, he's probably you could say he could fit as a champion, for that style and what the whole division what it's for. However, when he comes down to him and someone else that speaks English, that has a marketable look, not bad looking either. I mean, and he's got charisma. Yeah, that guy, he's gonna be your champ. As opposed to someone who, I mean, he's a little bit marketable with the mask and everything, but I mean that's about as much as you can do with him.
Right.
We've seen before in the past with like Sin Cara, like how many feuds did he have? That made anything. Oh, they had to bring in the other Sin Cara.
If you're gonna have a mask, that really takes away a lot of a characteristic of your character
personality.
So you have to overcompensate everything else. I think Perkins already overcompensates on everything already.
And see, I can't remember if this was something that was said on this show or if this was just like a private conversation or something. But I remember Mysterious Q. I think this was on this show here, on an interview. Mysterious Q, ROW, you know, he always had the mask, the green guy with the green and the black mask. And a lot of people like him. A lot of people like his style. And like, oh, man, he's just a really great wrestler. He had to try out in WWE. One of the execs, I think he was Pritchard or somebody, I don't know. One of the WWE execs said, hey, look, we like you. You're a good guy. You need to work on stuff. But, dude, you're a handsome dude. Why the hell are you in a mask? You take that mask off, you're more marketable. I think it's the same with Suicide, with TJ Perkins. I mean, there's no reason to put him under a mask. You know, I know back in the day, Bobby Heenan used to make fun of guys who wear masks because, oh, they wear masks because they're ugly or something like that. Well, there's a little bit more to it than that with you know, luchador masks and stuff. But if you're in the business of marketing people, that's what WWE is. They're in the business of marketing. And if that's what you're trying to do, and you have a handsome looking dude, don't put him in a fucking mask. So, yeah.
That's it for the Cruiserweight Classic.
Well, no, it's not.
Oh, you remembered.
What is your fucking match of the week out of that?
Well, first, my match of the night for this one is going to be, I think that's it. Let's see.
Checking the notes.
Yes. Yeah, Great Metalik versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Really? Oh.
That first match.
Okay.
Dude, that nonstop action. Just
right from the get-go.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Do you know what?
From match of the night for that whole show.
That's not necessarily your match of the week.
It probably is.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just stalling over here so Chris can let the gerbil turn in his brain.
You just had this excellent conversation about TJ Perkins. I would have to say TJ versus Kota.
No, really?
My nit to pick on that?
From the very beginning where TJ, from the beginning, out of the 4 people that you thought were going to be the best people qualified for the championship, out of all 4 people, TJ was getting the most boos.
Yes,
he beat your boy.
Rich.
Who did he beat?
He beat Ibushi.
No.
Oh, before that, Rich Swann. Yeah. Can you handle it? Can you handle it?
We got to make up for some time here.
Yeah. So he beat Rich Swann. So like Metalik was getting super over. The Sabre is Sabre. Kota's Kota. TJ was getting booed.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. And right on. And then as soon as the match started, like it was aware that TJ was studying this guy because Kota would go for kicks and TJ would block him. He would check him.
Yes.
I was like, all right, this is the kind of technical stuff I like.
I like that the commentators were calling him on that.
Yes.
Too. Yeah. They're saying he can't be checking those kicks out that many times.
Yeah. And I think Brian said that was the first time we saw somebody checking his kicks throughout the whole tournament. Yeah, that was really cool. And goddamn, I really wish that it didn't work out this way. I wish that we would have been able to come to a consensus. My match of the week out of all of those is the finals.
We did not discuss this.
We did not discuss this.
We can make a consensus that so far, quality over quantity, this might be the best special the WWE has produced all year. You can throw in Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, all the brand splits, quality over quantity. This is it right here.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. For wrestling purists. For wrestling aspects of stuff.
Yeah. In ring. Yeah.
And there was a tag team match in there also we didn't talk about.
Yeah. There was a tag team match.
No disrespect. I fast forwarded through it.
I did.
I watched it, but I wasn't watching it for that. It
was my break match.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a nice match.
That was the wrestler's break.
Yeah. I mean, not saying that the match was bad. It was good also. Right. But the stakes weren't as high in there.
Exactly.
So, okay. So you have the opener, the final four to the first one. You have the second one. I have the actual finals itself. People, what do you guys say? I know we have the rest of the week's worth of wrestling to talk about, but for the most part, I think all the match of the week stuff's coming from the CWC from this last week. What do you guys say should be the match of the week? Or if you don't want to say it from there, match of the night.
Yeah,
What was the best match out of the CWC 2-hour finale? Let us know. If you're on the live chat, let us know. If you're on Facebook, Twitter,
and maybe if we get the most votes, maybe we'll make that like a candidate or something for something.
Let them be the tiebreaker between us three.
Maybe.
And then maybe
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Put our thumbs in the middle and see what happens.
But this isn't the end of the Cruiserweights, though.
No, it is not.
Because Monday Night Raw, Travis, I was in that couch with you. With the bluest of balls, because WWE knew what to do.
You're killing Abel over here, by the way.
WWE knew what to do.
Yeah.
WCW, your Cruiserweight was the opening match in the first hour, was your opening match in the second hour, and after the promo, you're probably getting another Cruiserweight match in the third hour. Raw knew that this was a big deal, so they made you wait for that motherfucker. You had to wait 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Honestly, let's put it out there. Who here wasn't just watching Raw for the Cruiserweights?
I was just
maybe.
And here's to Travis's point. What happened after that Cruiserweight match?
You left.
Thank you.
Oh,
and we had a steel cage match in the final.
Something you don't know what happened after you left. I stopped watching Raw. I just didn't care. Like, it's a steel cage match. Yeah, I get it was for the.
Well, you know what? No, you know what? Let's do a quick rundown. What did we fast forward through? Cesaro, Sheamus.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah.
No one gave a flying fuck about that.
I stopped caring a long time ago.
What else did we fast forward through? It felt like a lot because we still had an hour fast forward juice.
There was the girls' match. I can't remember.
There's some promos.
It was a tag team. It was no, it wasn't a tag team. Was it? Yeah, it was Dana and Charlotte versus
Sasha and Bayley.
Bayley. Yeah.
We just cared about the Cruiserweights. Now, Mick Foley starts talking.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
What the fuck happened?
Well,
defend your bearded brother.
Why am I defending him?
Because you're the hairiest of the three of us.
Well,
right?
You're in the middle.
That doesn't mean I'm on his side.
You're the host. You're in the middle.
Go. Okay. You like talking. Go.
Okay. Foley starts talking about, hey, we're going to see the Cruiserweights later.
He tries to start talking. He was butchering that, whatever that promo was supposed to be.
Yeah, he did kind of fuck it up.
Kind of.
He did. He fucked it up a lot.
That was brutal, man. My anticipation for these Cruiserweights were starting to go downcline. Just because of what he was trying to get out. I was like, it's like, just shut up and get him out here.
I don't even think Rosetta Stone could have caught his fall.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
Like, he stumbled a bad. Yeah, like it was.
And that's coming from us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Foley. I'm willing to give Foley the benefit of the doubt that it's an off night because it's Foley. Like, he's very eloquent, both in speaking and in writing. So I'm not gonna fault him for an off fucking night. But it did kind of take me out of the segment a little bit. But at the end of the day, I wasn't watching Raw to watch the CWC to give a flying fuck about Foley. I wanted to give a flying fuck about TJ Perkins, him showing up with the title and being like, yeah, I'm the one who's starting up this division. And then someone else saying, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. And then, well, we actually had that. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have 4-way. Whoever wins the 4-way, they're going to be the number one contender.
Who was in the 4-way?
Rich Swann.
Mm-hmm. Cedric Alexander.
Can you handle this?
Graham Metalik.
Can you handle this?
Graham Metalik, Cedric Alexander, Brian Kendrick, and Rich Swann.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'll say something real quick. This is another match where kind of like what we were saying about Backlash, about the women's title match. Like, whoever wins, I'd be okay with it. And there's the same thing for me on this one. I had my final 2 picks that I wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
I was either going for the Binder Kendrick or Cedric Alexander.
Really? After all the tournament, you wouldn't have wanted a rematch between Metallic and TJ?
It would have made sense. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, those are my final 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. But I wouldn't have mind anybody winning that thing.
Yeah, again, the thing, not unhappy if whoever wins that. Not unhappy.
Did you not like the fact that, well, maybe you, because you said you were expecting TJ, but TJ wasn't really.
That is the biggest grievance that I have. I mean, we want to sit here and bitch about Foley butchering it. It's Foley, whatever. I'll give him a free pass. Get out of jail free because you're fucking Foley. What was the gravest issue there was the fact TJ wasn't on the fucking arena. He wasn't in the arena. Like, I think he was in like a backstage vignette where it's like, okay, whatever, that's it. But like, we expected to see him later that night. When the other cruiserweights came out, had their match, I was like, okay,
TJ's gonna come do a stare down, shake hands,
stare down, stand up at the top of the ramp. Hey, I'm gonna take you out next week or at the pay-per-view or whatever, something, or at least have him ringside doing commentary throughout the entire match. You know, JBL, so you're the new champ. Who do you pick out of these 4? Like something to show the people that's watching Raw that didn't watch the CWC who the fuck this guy is, who's your motherfucking champion. And instead, you're focusing on 4 guys, 3 of which are the losers that you're not going to see fight the champ. What? You're focusing on them?
He just made my point for me.
Okay, how? What?
You didn't watch the CWC? Wah. You want to watch the champion? $9.99 a month, bitch. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I see both.
I
see both, because in this particular case, for the larger extent, if you pay attention to the crowd, you could tell who watches the network in that audience.
Yeah.
And you could tell who doesn't, because it wasn't very loud.
Number one.
So that in that instance, I think TJ should have been out because they should have gotten a face to the name where they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the Cruiserweight Classic for 10 weeks in Full Sail in front of 1,000 people. How did you feel watching it in front of 10,000?
Like in Raw, you know, how did I feel about the Cruiserweights coming out? I think I felt a little disappointed with the crowd. You know, all the other guys going out there, with the exception of the Brian Kendrick, it all felt like it was the first day of school for them, and they were excited and they were happy. But the 15-year-old teachers who have been there since the fucking 90s that don't give a flying fuck, who don't give a shit anymore. Oh, great, these little shits are back in school. That's what I felt like the audience was. Like, okay, who's this guy? Okay, who's this guy? Okay, whatever. Like, the crowd totally sucked all the energy out of it. And it wasn't the fault of the dudes performing. And it kind of made me feel like, oh, that's sad. You know, these people are losing out because they don't know.
The only break I will give that crowd is that towards the end, I was disappointed in the beginning because they advertise the Cruiserweight Classic as guys that are no limits, that they go nonstop, they fly around, they do everything. It took like a good 5 minutes before somebody even got out of the ring. Like, it was not the Cruiserweight matches that I saw on the network was not the same kind of Cruiserweight match that started Raw on Raw. Like, it took a while for that match to get going.
Okay.
Once it did get going, it felt like an old WCW match on TV in the 90s where the crowd's like, who the fuck is that guy? And then by the end, they're like, oh my God, did you see that guy? Like, by the end of that match, all of them were over.
I think both of y'all were over criticizing the whole thing.
Okay.
Like, it was their first night. It was like their first match for the grand audience that is Raw, you know? Of course, they're going to be over with the CWC, and of course, the anything in Full Sail, you can go a little faster pace. But in this particular case, if you want to say it wasn't as what you were expecting from you could say it might have been nerves on their part because it was, you know, a lot bigger audience than they probably all have seen, except for Brian Kendrick. But yeah, the crowd reactions were one thing, but yeah, I didn't have any problem with the match itself. Like,
the match was fine.
It was just, you kind of feeling out process since it was a fatal 4-way for the stakes were being kind of high, for getting a title shot. You asked, what we think about them coming out and everything. And to me, I was excited for him.
Yeah.
Because these are indie dudes, especially Cedric Alexander, who just happened to be on
6 months ago. The dude was in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. And then he was
cut 20 pounds to get on the roster.
Maybe I'm just buying into the hype of all the pre-match vignettes for all those matches, especially for Cedric's, but and for Brian Kendrick's. Oh. If you look at those all the storyline going in, especially for Kendrick.
Kendrick had the most storyline in the CW.
But seeing that now he's got this second lease on life on his career, dude. I don't know. It felt to me. I guess living vicariously through them. Saying they went on this little tournament on this little thing.
They grew up.
And now look at them. They're not even 10 weeks later. And
that's fucking crazy to say about Brian Kendrick. And one thing I fucking love about what they're doing with him is that, yeah, he's got the second lease on life. And yeah, Spanky is all grown up now. But he's not the fucking Cruiserweight X Division style wrestler now. He's this wild, crafty.
The Wizard of Oz.
He's a crafty veteran where he's in there crafty veteran trying to go in there, poke eyes and scratch people and
roll out of the ring.
What's wrong with there's nothing wrong with it. That's fucking brilliant. That's fucking awesome. That's the reason why I like him. That's the reason why I like Zack Sabre, because he was different, not a flippy dippy. He was a scientific wrestler. Same reason why I like Gulak. If he's not flippy dippy, he was hit him hard, hit him fast. All those ones that are cruiserweights that vary a little bit from what a typical cruiserweight wrestles like. I loved it. And I really love it with Brian Kendrick right now.
Little asterisk right here, just because you just mentioned Gulak.
Yeah.
There was a match with him in Kenta. No, fucking
Hideo Itami.
Jesus, that word inside a flashback right there. That's how long it's been. No. So yeah, that was on NXT.
That was on NXT. That was a good match.
So it was decent. Not great, but hey, we got to see.
That's not the end of it either. There's going to be a lot more influx of the cruiserweight guys that are not on Raw.
Well, and on Raw, because they're going to be working both shows. They're going to be working NXT.
Nice.
I think Rich Swann worked this past weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, going back to throwing out to the audience or to our listeners as to what should have been match of the week pick for us. Good old Da Rule. He says Metallic versus Sabre. There you go.
I was like that guy.
You're agreeing with Chris. I can't believe you dirty son of a... Or Travis. Yeah, not this one, that one.
So we're going to try this a little early. We're going to give him a little teaser. Normally, for the people that haven't watched our show before, we do pay-per-view predictions. We go over the card, and we give our predictions. Brian Kendrick against TJ Perkins for the new Cruiserweight Championship. And it's not on the pre-show. It's on the main show.
Okay.
What is your anticipation level?
An 8.
Who do you have winning?
Perkins. I have Perkins winning. They just slapped the thing on him. So I like to go back to that old tried and true rule. If you're a brand new champ, you're not going to lose it on your first defense. And I think Kendrick will be okay with this loss. He's going to continue to be the crafty veteran. He's going to continue to hang around and maybe do some shady shit. But right now, you got to build the division around Perkins.
What's your anticipation level for this match?
I think I agree with Abel. I'm saying 8. I do have Perkins retaining. I think it was you that said you didn't want to see a rematch between Metallic and TJ Perkins. No, I'm glad that we're getting a fresh match that we haven't seen out of the 10 weeks of wrestling.
There you go.
It's still fresh, and even when you're taking 10 out of 32 guys, you can still have fresh matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to a good match. And yeah, Kendrick, he's going to try. I'm anticipating to see what he's going to try to do to get that belt.
Yeah, here's another thing about Kendrick. He's a crafty old vet, and he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve. But
he's the man with the plan.
Yeah, going back to the finals and hell, even the semifinals with TJ. TJ had this quiet confidence about him where like you said, you could tell he was studying his opponent. I think even though Brian Kendrick is a crafty veteran, I think somehow TJ's going to outsmart him. Just something where he's prepared enough, where he's competent enough, where he's going to have that silent kind of understated confidence where I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to stick to my game plan, and my game plan is going to work. And that's how he's going to win it.
Well, you guys are wrong. My anticipation level is at a 10.
10.
Mark.
10.
I have – now follow me on this. Y'all watching.
Okay.
Because I kind of teased this to Travis on Monday.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Uh-oh.
Brian Kendrick, the Brian
Kendrick,
Kendrick, will not only win the Cruiserweight title.
Former World Heavyweight Champion.
Not only will he win the Cruiserweight title, but he is taking the belt to SmackDown because Daniel Bryan will make it so.
There's some logistics in there somewhere.
The whole thing with getting rid of The Miz, signing his buddy, taking him over there, you think that'll have something to do with it? Okay.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
It's not just a coincidence that on a SmackDown taping, when they taped Main Event, they had Cruiserweight guys there too on a Tuesday. So, never know.
Never know.
So, that's it for now.
That, sir, is a bold prediction.
Yeah. We'll get to the rest of the card later. Speaking of later, something else happened on Wednesday. That that brand with Nakamura. Any somewhere?
NXT?
Yeah.
Yeah. We mentioned a little something about Hideo Itami versus Drew Gulak.
Or Kenta, whichever.
Yeah. Good match. I enjoyed it. But I feel like it wasn't of a whole lot of importance. I don't think anything felt of importance with NXT. And man, ever since the takeovers started really, becoming popular, the importance of the weekly NXT shows has been on a steady decline. And after this last Brooklyn takeover, it feels like I don't give a flying fuck about watching the weekly NXT show. It feels like
nothing's happened.
Nothing. Yeah. It feels like nothing goes on. The only things that are important to watch as far as NXT is concerned now are the takeovers. And that's it. That's how I feel. Okay, let's talk about the most important thing that happened on NXT.
Glory.
No, not that. Shinsuke Nakamura got taken the fuck out by Samoa Joe.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of important. Build storyline, doing a rematch, I guess, but he's out, so we don't know if they're gonna how long he's gonna be out. Blah 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 blah.
That sounds like a segment to end the show.
Yes, it does.
Everything is breaking tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please be with us.
Yes, I totally 100% agree.
I'm just waiting for one of these posters to fall down.
No, I know. Just bonk me in the back of the head.
That's what she said.
What? Some kinky shit there.
We saw what you caressing that mic did.
Ooh, yeah. Knocked it out for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
All right, so
it was so weird. It was weird.
It was so weird. It was like
that explains the placement is so weird. Just NXT just in general because it got overshadowed by everything CWC this week. You could have had, Dixie Carter walk down
naked
in NXT.
And
still
waiting to fast forward. Like, come on, classic. Hey, are we already over NXT? Can we move on?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Lucha
I totally missed out on this week of Lucha. So
you missed it.
I missed it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So we've been struggling on YouTube, Daily Motion, Pirate Bay, whatever you want to call it, to be watching season 2.
I watch it on El Rey because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Let me see how far that gets you. And so I told Travis, you know what? I'm going to sign in my iTunes account on your computer. I'll buy the episodes weekly.
Yeah.
You have access to
like
it whenever you need it.
Yeah.
And you've had it
since
the weekend.
Yeah.
So why didn't you watch it?
I'm lazy.
Oh, he's lazy. Well, at least he admits it.
I never denied it.
Thank you, Al Bundy.
Someone's got to admit that they're lazy.
Oh, come on, guys. We can't be breaking any fourth walls here.
There's no wall. It's wonder. Okay, so
weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, let me guess. Before you watched the show, it was a hardcore match.
Oh, he did watch the episode.
Did you see Killshot's leg getting blown off?
I fucking
what?
I'm just kidding. Keeping him on his toes.
Somebody got blown off? What?
That's what he got from it?
I didn't see anybody get blown off.
It's like amazing. Like he hears what he wants to hear.
Okay, yes. If there was any other match of the week candidates from any other programming this week, it's that match right there. It's not my match of the week pick. Precisely, it was close, but it's not my match of the week pick precisely because of that reason, Travis.
What?
Anytime that Lucha Underground has a match that is like this weird named match that we don't know what the rules are, it's a hardcore match. You know? So that's basically what it was. Sure, they had like artillery shells and boxes of ammo and camouflage fatigue shit all around the ring and all that. So to go along with the theme. And that's fun. That's cutesy. But at the end of the day, it's just a hardcore match.
And me personally, for like match of the week picks, you know me, I've always been kind of advocate against going against like gimmick matches for match of the week.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially hardcore matches. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
With that being said, it takes a lot of guts to get two guys that don't have the strongest storyline built in that show, give them 30 minutes in the main event of an episode.
Yes.
And start from the bottom. They had me.
That's true.
Halfway through it, they had me. And by the end, I was like, just like the feeling you had, like you saw them all grown up. It's like, holy crap, Marty the Moth and Killshot fucking did it.
They did. Gimmick aside, put all that bullshit to the side.
I like war games.
That match was fucking great. There was a lot to it. And yeah, dude, fucking Martin from fucking Tough Enough. Yeah, WWE fucking missed out on him. Oh, he happened to get injured while Tough Enough was going on. Bitch, you should have offered him a contract anyway. Because he was fucking good and he's always been good. But you missed the boat and now he's, showing you up in other places.
Is that a little too hard to swallow?
Well, and I'm not saying that just based off of this one match. He's been good. I've been liking everything that he's been doing.
This is the first time I've heard you say anything.
No, this is the first time you hear me say that I think he was that good. But I've always kind of thought, man, I wanted him to win that episode or that season of Tough Enough.
He has a gimmick that he can play off very well in an environment where you can go out there as far as a character and still make it work. I don't think even if you gave Martin a gimmick in NXT and have him cultivated in NXT, he would turn out as good as this character in Lucha Underground would work. And Killshot played off of him so well, dude.
It was so good.
Some of the spots, once you get past the fact that it looks like War Games from '94, dude,
yeah, like
it's a fun hardcore match to watch.
If you're okay with the fact that the gimmick was the gimmick, and you're like putting that shit aside and you just watch it, this is very well.
You have all season, Travis. It's on your computer. I saved it on Monday.
Well, now I'm going to watch it just out of spite for y'all too.
Yay!
That's okay.
Oh, you're not going to watch it. Oh.
It's not my match of the week pick. It's a candidate for me, but it's not my pick.
If it wasn't such a tough week, it could have been.
Matter of fact, when I do watch the episode, I'm going to purposely fast forward to that match.
If the finals for the CWC was not within that week, it would be my pick.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got some more backstory. This nice little girl had a Immortal Stone medallion.
Okay, so
it turned out to be
the officer chick. She has one half, and then what's her name? The one that licks people. Katrina.
How would you forget her name?
I remember
all these sexual innuendos in this half hour, and he forgets Katrina.
I don't want to know your name. I just want to bang, bang, bang. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Look, I can't think when she's around. All right,
she's not around.
Well, all I have to do is close my eyes and she's around. No, I don't know. She apparently is 1,000 years old.
That's how you like him.
I guess so.
Experience.
Yes.
It's like the old lady from Game of Thrones, the witch. Yeah.
Oh, okay. the red queen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never watched Game of Thrones.
What?
Never have.
I have
not even one episode.
I have all the seasons saved on my hard drive. I transfer them over.
Oh well, I'm gonna pull a Travis here and be like, I'm not gonna watch it just to spite you. Go fuck yourself.
No, plus it's not. You have to be a law-abiding citizen, like you said before.
Oh yes, so go fuck yourself.
I bought them.
Oh, he bought them.
You sucker.
They're dirt cheap.
Anyway,
on eBay.
Okay, so she's 1,000 years old apparently.
Looking damn good for 1,000 years old.
Going back to the days of the tribes, and her dad died and said, "Hey,
this only works
yeah
on women.
This only works on women. Here, have this thing, and it's gonna make you immortal. And don't you forget about me." And like that was it. Like, oh, okay.
Wait, so they had a song from Breakfast Club?
I wish, but no.
Why are you doing? Okay.
Well, they almost. That's basically what he said. So, guy who didn't watch it doesn't get it over here. But yeah, all right. Where's the storyline going? I don't know. What? Where's the storyline going? I don't know.
Yeah. It's going to the end of the discussion. That's it for Lucha for the week.
Okay.
We got to make up some time, Abel.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Speaking of making up time.
Yes.
I think we've had this conversation like 8 or 9 times in our episode's history of HWR, going back to the very beginning.
Okay.
TNA apparently was for sale again.
Oh, TNA's for sale. You got $20?
I don't think that's going to be enough.
No?
Billy Corrigan's
I have 20. He has 20. We got at least 60 here.
Billy Corrigan's a musician and a great promoter, but he might not be the best at math. Apparently, the tag price for TNA was $40 million.
Woo!
Mostly because of distribution and international contracts for television.
Okay.
But that was that was the going rate. WWE was
40 million.
WWE was interested if it was last minute. There were no other takers, and they needed it now. Because you think about it, they have a network.
Yep.
Not even that. If you don't even want the whole library of TNA episodes on the network, you have who's on your roster right now from TNA?
AJ Styles, Glorious, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe,
Austin Aries. Who else?
I know I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Sting.
Yeah,
Sting.
Kurt Angle.
Mick
Foley.
Christian.
Yeah. There's quite a bit.
Eric Young's going by for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
Eric Young. James Storm, if you want to count him. Oh, TJ Perkins. There you go. TJ Perkins. Suicide. Yeah. You got quite a bit.
The only thing that I would say that would interest Vince into buying
SoCal Val.
What?
SoCal Val.
The only thing that would interest Vince in purchasing TNA would be that video library.
Yeah.
Just for all those guys. Fuck the TV. Fuck everything. You got the network for that. If you want to put a show on, put it for the fucking network.
Yep.
Or get a cheap distribution for some channel that's got to be better than fucking where they're at now.
A USA affiliate.
But you could do. I mean, you could do what he did with WCW if you bought it, and just end it and just get contracts and get the video library and fuck all the rest.
Yep.
Or you could do what people wanted him to do with WCW and just finance it and let it kind of keep going just under his ownership.
Yeah.
What would y'all like if
Hardy's?
If Vince did buy it, what would you want to see him do?
I would like to see him air NXT worldwide on television.
You mean TNA?
No.
NXT?
They have all the international contracts for television, replace Impact and put NXT. That would give them more incentive to tape NXT weekly, even if it has to be live on tape delay, as opposed to taping 6 weeks worth and airing it later when everything's already happened and we've already been spoiled and we get to the point where we are now where we don't give a fuck about NXT, basically. That's what I would do.
Okay. I just would like to see a complete Rolodex, complete library of all these stars that they have now, because everybody keeps talking about, oh yeah, AJ Styles, he was great. He's a champion all over the world. No, he wasn't a champion all over the world. Yeah, he went to Japan. He won a title there, but looking at his career, that was just a cup of coffee. He made his career in TNA.
He made TNA.
He made it. The house that AJ Styles built.
Yeah.
If you want to take
the face that made the place.
Yeah. If you want to take their talent and say, hey, these guys are credible, and not acknowledge why they're credible or where they came from to make them credible, then there's a disconnect there.
People joke about TNA. TNA is a joke.
Now.
But look at the history. No.
Okay.
They started in 2002. That's 14 years of footage that could be used for other purposes.
Yes.
Especially now with all the roster members they have that's inserted into NXT, Raw, SmackDown.
R-Truth?
R-Truth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Black Rain.
You should have stopped at R-Truth.
Yeah, right. Gail Kim?
Would you want him to buy out any contracts, or would contracts come with the sale? And if so, who do you keep and who do you let go?
EC3 you keep. Definitely keep him. Of course, you're going to bring the Hardys back into the fold. Let Matt be broken. I mean, hell, Matt is still out there doing tweets about McMahon and like making fun of Vince and all that shit. Let him keep doing that. Sure, he'll be under contract, but this is the most entertaining thing that's going on in TNA right now. It's probably the most entertaining thing that either of the Hardys have done in the last like 6 years. So let them keep doing their thing.
It's all subjective. So I don't know. This
Abyss deserves to actually have a fucking WWE contract. I think so. Outside of Kane and Foley,
y'all are gonna think I'm fucking nuts, but I would pay.
Oh, we already think that.
I would pay to see Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley.
That's a good marquee match. It could be. Yeah.
That could work.
Here's
UFC
the thing.
versus Bellator and WWE.
No,
What?
Before you even get to that, stop.
I was just laughing.
Okay. Before you even get to that, you got to remember, nobody knows who the fuck TNA is,
right?
On the mainstream side of things.
Mm-hmm.
We know what TNA is. Wrestling fans, hardcore wrestling fans know what TNA is. But that doesn't matter in the long run. And that's the issue I think that Vince has. Like, is why he probably wouldn't do anything with it. Like, if he bought it, he'd get it for the library, for the roster that he already has.
Yes.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would want to see him buy it just for the library. Like,
yeah, me too. I definitely.
A surprise entrant or two every year at the Rumble. It's like, oh my God, former TNA star.
Even if you did what they did with WCW
and ECW.
See, if they did that with this one, there wouldn't be that expectation of a big WWE versus WCW feud, like invasion thing. You wouldn't have that pressure.
And here's why. Half of the roster of all the people that were really good in TNA are already there and already established.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like I would equate this to like the 97 ECW invasion, where it was more of a ragtag bunch of wrestlers. And it wasn't like this company versus this company, you know?
It's just this company getting a little free publicity on the main show.
Mm-hmm.
But he would own it.
Yeah, they don't need to have a full-blown out invasion angle. Buy the stuff, put all the stuff on the network, and actually acknowledge, hey, AJ was a champ over here for 12 years. Hey, you know, this guy was over there.
Here's a thing I would borrow. The Ultimate X match for the Cruiserweights.
Yes.
That's a filler pay-per-view right there.
Yeah, Destination X.
That's a Raw only pay-per-view right there.
Yeah, fuck it. 20 pay-per-views a year. Why not? You took over Great American Bash. Fuck it.
Slowly watered that down to shit.
Yeah. You know,
took King of the Ring, slowly watered that down to shit.
Bound for Glory. Fuck it. We'll do it twice and then never again.
Oh, we just got rid of Cody Rhodes. Let's bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back. Okay, fine.
There's a big thing right there.
Yeah.
Apparently, Cody Rhodes is going to debut tomorrow on the tapings for Impact. But before that, I saw the big announcement on Facebook that Brandy
Rhodes
is going to debut as a knockout. She's going to be wrestling.
Really?
Fun.
Okay.
Like apparently
she's
this whole
been
time
training the entire time, but they just used her as a ring announcer.
Yeah.
So
she's going to get killed.
Hey, if she has more talent than half of that knockout roster, they need to put her in that ring.
I can't speak for the roster because I haven't been watching week in, week out.
I barely know half of the girls' names. and some of the stuff I've seen, it's not it ain't Awesome Kong ODB Gail Kim.
No.
Right.
It's not anymore.
Not anymore.
Mm-mm.
Maria Kanellis is the champ or something, or she is.
She's fighting Gail Kim at Bound for Glory for the women's
I just don't see Maria as a wrestler.
Well, because Maria's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
Hell, she has said
she
that.
wanted to be a
She
wrestler,
wanted to
but
be.
Ring of Honor never had a division. and hence whenever
she said that on her show that she was like, well, that wasn't in the cards for me. I'm always, going to just be a valet. Well, guess
she
what?
bought a new deck.
She bought a new deck. So she's, I guess, yeah. Why not? So let's see what Brandy could do.
I do like the fact that they're able to keep Rhodes, because apparently that was a thing, that there's a rumor that WWE wasn't going to let them use Rhodes as a name.
Yeah.
They're saying it's copyright, but they were using that name.
Mm-hmm.
That is their name. Like, it's not their name, but
it's
linked to their heritage, right?
Yeah, but it's linked to their heritage. Like, you can't not use that name.
It's like Ric Flair wouldn't be able to use Ric Flair somewhere else. They can't. It's him.
Yeah. Well, would it be such a loss if he had to go by Cody Reynolds?
Yes.
Would it?
Mm-hmm. You got that Rhodes, man. You got to. I mean, from market. You talking earlier about marketing.
Okay,
dude. We didn't even mention this last week. A couple of videos surfaced on the internet. Cody Rhodes' introduction in the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Battle Los Angeles, where Brandy went out there.
Yeah.
And his opponent, the grandson of a plumber, that place marked the fuck out.
Nice.
And then after the whole promo, when she polished it off and said Cody Rhodes, dude, that place was lit. And you're not gonna get that reaction the same way if they end her intro with Cody Reynolds. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So
fair. That's fair.
Wrestling fans like that validation of what they know.
So any other tidbits besides TNA stuff in the news segment?
No.
Nah.
No?
What else we got?
The Blue Brand, SmackDown.
Oh.
We've been raving over it the last couple of weeks that it's caught its stride after their first only pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think about this week?
I was only looking forward to the main event, really.
Cena versus Ambrose.
Yeah. First time ever.
What'd you think?
My anticipation for it was pretty high just because of the last couple, week or so. That promo exchange, and I was even more surprised by the outcome, honestly.
Okay.
Jumped to the gun here. Ambrose got a clean win on Cena.
Yeah, which, damn. I mean, I guess we're at that point in Cena's career now where he's going to start doing that. I mean, he laid down for AJ. Now he laid down for Dean, just like back to back.
Well, I don't know which commentator said it, but after the match, he said, it's not an upset, but it's shocking.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they said it like that, because you can't have Dean Ambrose just win a match and say it's an upset. His former champion now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that he kind of covered him and just said, wow, it was a shocking ending. But I mean, it's a decent match.
I'll tell you what was more shocking when he kicked out of the Attitude Adjustment clean.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, well, there it is. LOL, Cena wins. 1, 2. What?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a shocking moment for me right there.
Yeah, but I mean, the match was, it was decent. I mean, it's not my match of the week or anything, obviously, but
it was a solid main event match.
Yeah.
It didn't turn me away.
Well, it turned some people away because the ratings went down at the last little bit.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, I mean, Cena just by himself is a ratings getter, and then
historically, yeah,
put in Ambrose in there for the first time ever fighting. You would think that
not to oversell this. Me personally, I was getting the vibe getting into this match, building up through the show. I was getting the vibe of like Hogan Warriors. Like, all right, Warriors over. Let's test the overness. Let's put him against Hulk Hogan and see how the crowd reacts to him. And that's what I was like, okay, I wonder if Dean is as over as Cena is right now in this position.
Actually, I thought we were going to get a solidified heel turn from Ambrose. He's growing the beard out, like more solid. He's wearing all black.
The hair's thinning.
Yeah. So, but I just, it's been teased like last couple of weeks, or actually more than that. I think ever since brand split, I think it's been teased that he's getting a little more agitated, I guess, but they've been doing that a lot with a couple of guys.
Well, earlier today, threw out on Twitter, hey, we're doing a show tonight. Submit your Ask HWR stuff. And one of the things we got here was from a loyal listener of the show, Hector. Hector said, what do you guys think on Ambrose possibly being this era's version of Stone Cold? Now, there have been little rumblings here and there that there's parallels with Ambrose and Stone Cold. I already knew when I first saw this question here that the first thing is that's going to happen is I'm going to get side-eye from Travis, because Travis hates when anybody compares anybody to anybody.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
No.
But you know, with this, I've seen where the parallels can be made, but I definitely don't think that it's on the same level. Now, I think that a lot of the reasons why people are saying maybe he could be there is because right now he's a face, but he might be kind of turning heel, like you just said, but maybe he's a tweener. Maybe he just is a face who has an attitude. And I think that says a lot about the product and how it's been the last few years. All your heels are cowardly heels. All your baby faces are just good guy baby faces. It's been a long time since we've had a good baby face who's not a good happy-go-lucky guy. It's been a long time since we've had an asshole baby face. And I think that's the kind of way that they're going with Dean right now.
I'm not sure if asshole is the right word. I'd say edgy.
Edgy? Jerk?
Since Thugonomics.
Okay, there you go.
Or since Orton started doing that tweener role during Legacy, where Legacy started turning on Orton, and you slowly saw the turn. Dude, here's the difference: Stone Cold Steve Austin, King of the Ring, cuts the promo. From that moment, you know you have something. Mm-hmm. What do you do with it? You capitalize on it,
right?
How many times did we get cock teased with Dean Ambrose winning the title just for them to say, hold on a minute, player?
Twice.
And that's it. It has never gotten that to the same heights. Mm-hmm. Even when Dean won the title before we did this brand split, it was not the same as it was Corpus Christi or the time before Roadblock.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And they failed to capitalize on it when it was at $45 a share. Now they're trying to get their money back on $25 a share.
And it's not working.
I
mean, Dean had the mojo going for him where this is a guy that we want to cheer for who's a babyface because he's a bad motherfucker. And that's the exact same thing that happened with Stone Cold. People liked Stone Cold because he was a bad motherfucker, you know? But with Dean, man, they lost it. And he's not that anymore. He's very defeatable.
Devil's advocate. Dean Ambrose is a victim of circumstance in booking.
Okay.
Going back to his first two teases, they should have capitalized on that, but they didn't. And then when they finally do, he gets overshadowed by the brand split.
Yes.
His biggest feuds that he had at the time was against the Shield, or former Shield members fighting each other. He wins a title from them. All three Shield members win a title that night, pretty much. And then he wins it, and then he gets moved over to their show, and the other two people associated with him are on a totally different show. Mm-hmm. So he has no heat, or he has no
rub.
He can't do anything. He can't do anything. And then all the talk is on Raw about the Universal title. Everybody's wondering.
Oh my God, Finn Balor, finally. Nobody saw it coming except everybody saw it coming.
Yeah. And then with SummerSlam, the placement of his title match way down low. Like this whole thing, it's been like I can't really. I'm not the biggest supporter of Dean Ambrose, but
you're not a hater.
I'm not a hater either. But I get like why he is where he's at right now, and it sucks because he's just doing what his job is. But I think they need to kind of rebuild him now that he's on the brand, and now they can build him up from there.
He had the potential, and probably even.
But I wouldn't say he's a bad motherfucker though.
That's the point. You know, he had the potential, and he may still have the potential character-wise to be that deep and rich of an interesting of a character where he can be a BMF, but he's not. He's just this irreverent dude who, if they add a little bit more to it, where he becomes even more irreverent, then yeah, maybe you really have something. But right now he's just goofy irreverent. Right now he's just RVD irreverent. Mm-hmm. He's not like fuck the system, fuck my boss, fuck all the censor people that are telling me I can't say fucking, telling me that I can't flip people off. I don't give a damn if I get, if I steal a Zamboni machine or if I get arrested on TV. I don't care. Dean isn't that. Dean was trying to go that way, but he ain't there. And I don't think he could get there in the PG era.
I think the other problem with the booking is that there hasn't been a heel character that can accentuate the positives of a Dean Ambrose character. You put him with AJ Styles, not because he's a douchebag or he's a prick. No, you put him in there because AJ Styles is from New Japan. He's one of the best wrestlers around the world. He's due a title match, and he just did XYZ to get him #1 contendership. That should have been a place where you highlight Dean Ambrose against a heel like, say, Kevin Owens. if Owens was on SmackDown, to where you can see the positives of Dean Ambrose and you can see the negatives of Kevin Owens as a character, not in a bad way, but bring out the heelness of Kevin Owens and bring out the badassness of Dean Ambrose to complement each other so that they both go up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the fact that they didn't give that to him in the beginning of his singles title run on a brand new brand. That's like they just took the rest of the wind out of his sails if it hadn't already been taken from everything else that happened before.
Just curious, would you give Ambrose a makeover, like different attire or anything like that? Jeans, is that? I don't know. It's a weird look. I don't know. It's just wrestling in jeans.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of plays into what they've been trying to do with them, where he's just like a dude who's crazy. You know, so I kind of get that. He just shows up, come as you are. He happens to be in jeans and a wife beater. Fuck it, he's in jeans and a wife beater. The thing is, right now, his dial is at about an 8. And they haven't been able to, if that. And they haven't turned him up to 11. That's what I think they're missing with him. It's not that he needs new attire, because, again, going with the parallels of Stone Cold, he only has black trunks and he's a bald dude. There's nothing that makes him any different. Oh, okay, yeah, but like who he was, his charisma and the storyline that he had made that awesome. Oh, he's just a guy in jeans and a wife beater. Okay, yeah, if you give him enough stuff to give him ammunition to be who he is.
The problem with Dean was when he was the champ on SmackDown was all his promos act like he didn't care.
That's another good point.
So he needs to turn up that intensity a lot.
Yes, not be irreverent to the fact that he's a champ, but irreverent to other people that are his haters or whatever would work. But right now it's like, oh, I happen to be the champ, whatever.
Yeah. I asked this to Travis on Monday about Roman Reigns. I'm going to ask this about you right now for Dean Ambrose. Will hitting the reset button and going back to what made him good bring him back to where the height that he was before? And by that, I mean all 3 of the members of the Shield are faces now.
Are they?
Roman's booked as a face, no matter if you boo him or you boo him and the people at home boo him.
That's not my contention. My contention's Rollins. I don't know if he's an actual full-fledged face.
I say he is.
Think so?
Is this a nice transition to Raw? Since we got a prediction show to do?
I believe this is. Okay. Rollins. Sure, he came out at the end of the match, seemingly to save what's his name? It was getting beat down in the cage to save Roman. But was he just maybe acting out of his own volition? Not because he wanted to save Roman, but because he wanted to fuck up his opponent. That's
how it starts.
Yeah. Look at all the matches that Rollins been ever since he's been back. He's been fighting heels.
Okay.
He's getting face reactions.
Yeah.
And he's even getting Stephanie's face, you know.
Yeah, he was a dick to Stephanie, but the weird thing with Stephanie is that they've been showing her and depicting her as a sympathetic figure with Mick Foley kind of giving her a bit of a rub and her playing the I don't know what's happening with Triple H thing. Like, she's been getting a little bit of sympathy. And then you have Seth coming in and getting in her face. Okay, well, who's the dick there?
Actually,
who's the heel?
I'm siding with Rollins on that. When you guys
are?
And Stephanie's dude, they're fucking married, and this has been like 2 or 3 weeks now. Are you trying to tell me she doesn't know what the fuck Triple H did?
But if she doesn't know, what a bitch move on Triple H's behalf.
We need to hear from him then. Where the fuck is he?
No, I know.
Giving away trophies and belts on CWC. That's nice and fine and dandy, but where the fuck is he on Raw?
I don't know. That leaves a lot of fucking questions. Is he being a terrible husband?
Is that all this? Is this like
fucking Brad?
No, is this tease booking or is this bad booking?
I don't know.
We're getting to a point. This is like 2 or 3 weeks ago. This happened.
Mm-hmm.
We need.
Where the fuck is Triple H?
To me, it's already unbelievable that she does not know. They don't have these conversations at the house.
Yeah.
If there's pictures floating around of Triple H hanging out with Brad Pitt, we're in fucking trouble. Do you think being the Shield back together would get Roman back to face credibility where he was before?
That's a good question. Now,
because it feels like the way you mentioned Rollins, it feels like Roman is getting the tweener heat where people are cheering and booing him, but Rollins just doing the actions that should be getting that. And the stuff that and the things that Rollins is doing is the reactions that Roman should be getting. It's backwards.
It's weird because all all of them are in a bit of a transition phase.
They're playing different roles.
Even though Reigns is the only one that shouldn't be in a transition phase. Reigns is the one guy that is a heel. We're going to shove him down your throat. Or, excuse me, a face. We're going to shove him down your throat as a fucking face. He's a face. God damn it. He's a face.
And then
everyone boos him.
And then he fails the drug test and you're fucked.
Even then, he's still a goddamn baby face. They're still booking him as a baby face. He's not winning anything, but he's still a baby face. It's just everyone else boos him. So he's kind of in a weird situation. But with Dean and Rollins, I don't know. They're all, nothing is solidified yet. So it's a little bit too early for me to say, yeah, they're going to reform the Shield. But even if they did reform the Shield, if they say, oh, fuck it, all three of them are faces, all three of them are on Raw, they're all in a stable now, and they're going to take out the fucking New Day and whatever other fucking trio is out there, and they're going to be the tough shit. Are we going to say, hey, the Shield is back in there as popular as they were 3 years ago?
We should have got the Shield against the Club.
Ooh. There's still time.
Set that up for Survivor Series?
There's still time.
Gallows, Anderson, AJ versus all three members of the Shield?
That could actually work as Survivor Series.
Have the Club as the heels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With AJ still as a champ? Fuck it, even with Rollins as your Raw champ.
Wow.
There's a tag team title match.
Yeah, there we go.
To
the Club against New Day.
Let's have Club beat New Day for the titles.
Oh, I've got them winning.
They better win.
If they either shit or get off the fucking pot with the Club at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're not going to give them this win now after everything you've done for these guys, send them back to New Japan. Do at least them a solid.
But what I was going to say was have them win.
Hold the belts with AJ.
So they'll have the belts on Raw. AJ keeps the belt on SmackDown. And then at some point before Survivor Series, on Raw,
2 months away,
on Raw, the Club attacks Rollins and Reigns because they're in the ring doing something, whoever, they attack them. And then on that week on SmackDown, AJ attacks Dean Ambrose.
That feud could still be going too. Cena could just be in the
right
mix just to keep it fresh.
And we could see the McMahons get together and say, "Hey, you got these guys. I got the. Why don't we just do?" Yeah. They could do something.
I'd be down.
And there you go. And you have your two hottest stables right there in a match at one of your biggest pay-per-views.
My God, Bullet Club versus. Well,
why do we not have like consulting contracts with WWE by now?
I don't know.
Somebody.
I don't know. Cough it up.
Anticipation level for the Club against New Day for the WWE Raw titles.
5.
10 for the New Day, 0 for the Club.
No, just 5 altogether.
Because it's meh.
Yeah, because it's meh. We just came up with a nice idea, but
our anticipation's a 10,
and we're stupid.
But that nice idea has nothing to do with what's actually going on. That nice idea was, hey, take the belts off of the New Day. That way, the Club could do all this nice shit with the Shield. Well, that's not what's happening. It's the Club versus the New Day. I really don't care that much, to be honest, about this match.
4.
Yeah,
I care about what happens after.
Depending on who wins.
So we all don't care, and we all have the Club winning.
No, I have
what?
They're gonna stick with the New Day. They have two. They have. I'm not saying I want the New Day to win. I'm not saying that it's the right choice. But I'm saying that's what WWE is probably gonna do because they still have a whole lot more goddamn bootios to sell.
Man, fuck that cereal.
I know.
All right, what else we got?
They got the merch, so they're gonna have the win. They're gonna have the shine.
They got the merch. They don't need the win. They don't need the belts because they have the merch.
Okay.
Keeping on the meh train. Number 7, Sheamus versus Cesaro. Anticipation level.
0.
Anticipation level.
8.
The fuck?
0. Well, because you're still sticking to your gun now. By force. You're hyped because this is the end no matter what the fuck.
Right. Because now this is the end. Matches 3 through 6. Yeah. Oh God.
Double count out.
That's why it's not a 10. But matches 3 through 6, I don't give a flying fuck because we know Cesaro's gonna run right through them and get all 3 of those wins. So it's like, fuck, man. That sucks that they're gonna drag all this out to a Game 7. And okay, here we are, Game 7. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna just give it to Cesaro and let him be the Cleveland Cavaliers of the WWE, or are they gonna just shut that shit down and with just a big ass tease and they give it to Sheamus and piss everybody off? I don't know. I don't know exactly where they're going with it, and I kind of want both to happen, and I kind of want neither to happen. So, yeah,
I don't care honestly, but I would like to see Cesaro win because I think there's more upside potential for him.
Here's
Turtles 2 came out on DVD this week. I've got Sheamus winning.
Okay, here's the other thing.
Rocksteady.
Whoever wins,
I know what
this,
you're talking about. Whatever.
Whoever wins this, and this was another a question that was sent to us on the Twitter today. What's at stake for this match? Well, what's at stake is whoever wins this gets a shot at a title. What title? We don't know. Do they get to pick their own? I guess. I don't know. But whoever wins this best of 7 series, they apparently have plans for them. So if it's Sheamus or Cesaro, I'm more interested to see what they're going to pick as far as what they're going to do with this title shot and who they're going to wrestle and what's going to happen afterwards. I'm not necessarily focused on the match itself, focused on Game 7. I want to know what happens coming out of Game 7.
So why is your anticipation for this match then?
Because it's over.
Because I want to see what's going to happen.
But everything you're excited for is after the match.
Yeah, but it depends on the outcome. So I want to see what the outcome is.
What else we got?
Sticking to the meh train.
Again?
Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. Travis, what's your anticipation level?
The storyline has, there's been nothing going into it. It was a segment on talking or whatever.
The list of Jericho.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
What about it?
No? Still hasn't got
let him finish. Let him finish.
No, the list of Jericho was funny with the clipboard. Jericho was gold on Monday.
Yes.
Taking notes while everybody else is talking.
Other than the CWC stuff, dude, that was so funny shit. That didn't anticipate the anticipation for the Sami Zayn match.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I thought that whole segment with Jericho coming out and then all the fucking tag teams coming out. What did I do? I was like, come on. It ruined that segment.
And it ruined it for me because I read online with the Z and some ideas that were going to be thrown out that would have.
That's your own fault.
Regardless. That rectified one of your problems.
Ooh.
That we're going to have.
You had him wrecked him.
Yeah. Face off between Chris Jericho and the new Cruiserweight champion, TJ Perkins. As a passing of the torch type thing on highlight reel. But once everybody else started coming out, I was like, no. My anticipation for this match, 0. Again, we just saw this 3 weeks ago on Raw. Are we supposed to forget that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
they
care.
fought, right? Yeah.
I don't care. 0.
Who won that match?
Sami Zayn did.
I think I said this about that match, and I'm going to say that again about this match. On paper, dude, it's Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. Holy fuck.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I would. I would. I would say
if it was first time ever, maybe.
If it was
regardless of lack of story.
If it was first time ever, if it was for something, and if it wasn't for if it was more storyline than just, hey, he called him a stupid idiot. There's been nothing else to draw me into it other than the fact, if I looked on paper, didn't know what was going on, I hadn't been watching wrestling for a year or two, and I saw, Jericho versus El Generico. Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm gonna say it. I don't think that Jericho's the same Jericho's before.
I agree.
In ring,
I agree.
Like you're saying, Zayn, Jericho, holy fuck. Maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe. But Jericho last
his
year
character work, his mic work, is probably the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
But once you
in ring, I found myself last few months, Jericho's in-ring matches, I'm just not caring for him.
I don't disagree with you there. Yes. You're right. You are right.
So what's your anticipation level?
My anticipation level is about a 7.
That's still generous. What's your anticipation level?
It is generous.
2. Okay.
There's been nothing going on with this. It's just because of Kevin Owens winning the title.
It better be Sami Zayn. It should be. It better be. And that's who I want to win, and that's who WWE should. And I think that's who WWE is going to pick. It's Jericho. Jericho's supposed to be jobbing to everybody to pass on the torch and help other people. He should be.
I've got Jericho winning this.
Okay.
You can't lose everything.
Yeah. There you go. Jericho is the one guy that I don't mind if he does lose everything. Now.
I don't know if this is the meh train, but we're going to get off the track a little bit. Kickoff pre-show. Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax.
Meh. Well, this would have been great if we didn't already see it. this would be great if there would have been more fuel added to this fire. I kind of liked the the Kleenex box getting thrown in the face, and then Foxy going, "Oh shit, no, I did do it," and then like it was funny if they would have kept adding more to it. But no, what happened after that? Squash match.
But so did they actually fight?
Yeah, they did.
There wasn't a finish though.
Well,
they went through the rail, and that was it.
Oh, that was the finish. It was a no contest because she killed her. Like, okay, why?
But didn't technically beat her.
Okay,
and that's what's on the pre-show, I think, not in the actual card.
But I mean, if they would have kept the physicality away from each other, and they would have just had more talking or more backstage or something else, maybe a tag team match or something. I don't know, some other shenanigans instead of, oh yeah, Nia already killed her. Then I would have cared a little bit more.
Here's the thing about this whole storyline. This whole thing happened because of Alicia.
Yeah.
She was the cat, and she's the face. The face started the thing with Nia Jax.
And I don't mind that because it's different.
But how are you going to get you can't do that and get sympathy on the face.
I don't mind it because it's different.
Okay, there's your psychology out the window.
Well, okay.
My anticipation level's at a 5 because they're giving Nia Jax somebody that can at least work, unlike the jobbers that they've had on TV that you've never seen before ever. I was like, oh, Alicia Fox, all right, let's see what she can do.
And I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that she already killed her.
If it weren't for the fact that this is on the pre-show.
At this point, pre-show or not pre-show, regardless, because it's all on the fucking network anyway. What's the point of having a pre-show if it's already on the network on the same shit? But anyway,
because half the arena's in line taking a shit and buying merch instead of paying attention to Nia Jax, that they made a big fucking deal of bringing her over on this brand just to stick her on the pre-show. Yeah.
Well, regardless of placement on the card or whatever, or who's taking a shit, who's not taking a shit, regardless, I would have had more respect for this match, and I would have been a little bit more interested in it, but I'm not because of all the stuff I just said. So my anticipation level is a 4.
You're generous.
Well,
that's less than him. He had it at 5.
You're 5, really? Okay, well, 1.
And I got Nia Jax winning.
Of course,
Nia Jax is winning.
There you go.
At least she don't stand a fucking chance.
All right, we talked about this earlier. U.S. title
5,
match.
Really?
I want to care about the Nia Jax character because she is not your cookie cutter diva that comes out from a little thing Roman Reigns against Rusev Machka for the U.S. title. Travis.
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm glad that they did what they did and teased Roman getting back into the main event scene, and then Rusev surprising everybody and making a surprise return and costing him the match and continuing their feud. I love how that worked out.
Yeah.
The funny thing is about this is it could really go either way, and I kind of like that. Like, Roman could win the title and be a champion on Raw, or they could have Rusev go over Roman and solidify himself as the top heel.
Before the last pay-per-view, they gave away this match the week before on Raw.
Right.
Have you already forgotten about all that and given this a clean slate now that Roman was teased and is now back in this U.S. title field?
I'm more forgiving for this match than I was for the last one.
How about you?
What did you say what your anticipation level was?
Anticipation, I'll say 6. Since I've had like 1s and 0s, 6 is like a 15 for y'all.
Yeah, right. I think my anticipation level on this one would have been a 9.
Oh, here we go.
Would have been. But no, I think I'm going to go with about a 5. I think that there was potential for this to really take off and be some fucking hot fire, but instead it's hot garbage right now. Because
have you seen Lana dressed?
Oh yeah, Lana. Oh, parao. I see. But like that's Lana. Lana has nothing to do with this storyline. This is supposed to be like this big.
She hasn't really done anything. In this
it's supposed to be this big blow off of this feud that's supposed to have started between two guys that are really hard hitting and going to really go at it. But it's Roman, and they haven't done a whole lot with them. And yeah, Rusev came back and surprised him and screwed him over, but that was it.
Did the wedding and a honeymoon time away have a factor in that?
Yes. One good segment, a good feud does not make. And that was the one good thing. And hell, it wasn't even a segment. It was a run-in for a match that something else was happening on. You know, they haven't had enough time to clash themselves to actually build something where it was taken off. So I feel as though, and maybe this whole pay-per-view is suffering from this. We just had a pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. You know, sure, it was SmackDown, but then the pay-per-view before that was 4 weeks ago. And Raw for those 2 middle weeks is kind of felt like filler. And then, yeah, with Rusev being gone, not being there, like, I don't know. It feels like we've only had one real week worth of build for this pay-per-view. It's like, oh shit, Clash of Champions is this week? Oh God, okay. You know, is anything built? No, not really. Oh, all right. And that's how I feel about this match. Like, it could have been built, it could have been badass, it could have been awesome, but right now it's like they barely laid the foundation, and now you're already having the fucking new people looking for a home come in and tour the place when it's just fucking on stilts, you know?
Who do you have win?
Rusev. At this point, there's not enough storyline. There's not enough investment to do a big title change.
That's interesting. I'm going to say Roman.
Really?
You're saying there's not enough investment. I say there's like 2 months worth. Just because Rusev took off like a week or two. There's nothing changed as far as their storyline goes. There was unresolved issues with that storyline.
Okay.
And I think this could be a good blow-off ending for this match or for this feud. And fuck it, and solidify Roman being out of the main event scene for a little while, anyways.
So I'm at a 4.
Wow, that low.
But you give Alicia Fox and Nia Jax a 5.
Nia Jax has boobs.
So does Roman if you take off the vest. I want Rusev to win this. I want the next match for the U.S. title to be inside a Hell in a Cell. Rusev versus Roman. Next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. In the cage. That's when I got Roman winning this.
Okay.
I don't know if my patience will last another
review. You do bring up a good point. It does feel like, damn, we just got a pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. Like the old brand split, like you had one, and then you waited a month or two for the next one, and then in between you had the co-branded. This is going to be interesting to see once we get to November, December, when every brand has already had multiple shows and they just kind of like run together. How we're going to be reacting to this, because now that you mentioned that, besides the dead horse that Raw's 3 hours, the fact that we've already had SmackDown already show their pay-per-view, it's like, okay, that fatigue's already starting to set in mentally for me. That, oh shit, it's a motherfucking pay-per-view. You know, every 2 weeks basically, or there's going to be weeks where it's going to be back-to-back that we're going to get pay-per-views if it's not a co-branded.
Not to mention takeovers.
And takeovers, yeah. So,
or their special ones that they have on the network and shit.
How about the ladies? Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte for the women's title.
This feud is just getting, I don't want to say convoluted, but it's getting to a point where it's getting stupid. Like, like, come on. You bring in Bayley, you have Dana in there. I mean, there's only so much I can take of Sasha and Charlotte anyways. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting burnt out of the same feud continuing.
What's your anticipation level?
5. That's being generous, honestly.
Abel's rubbing off on you?
What?
What's your anticipation level for this?
2.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
You're gonna beat me to it.
Honestly, I'm not sure, because I kind of get the fatigue factor that you're talking about, Trav, where it's just like, God, it's so convoluted. You know, we talked about it last week. Is Bayley stealing Sasha's thunder, or Sasha stealing Bayley's thunder? Are they both thundering? What the hell's going on with Dana? You know, like, there's just too much going on. There's too much story on this.
It's like they're purposely dragging it out.
It feels like they're just trying too hard when I know that they don't need to. So on the one hand, it's like, fuck yeah, I want to see all these ladies go at it and have a good match. At the same time, like, y'all need to calm down. Like take it a little bit slower, slow your pace. So on the one hand, it's like, fuck yeah, I want to see all this. So yeah, fucking put it at a 9 or a 10. But on the other hand, it's like, oh geez, there's just like too much going on. Let's bring it down to like a 3 or a 4. So let's split the difference and call it a 6.
That's a lot of math for.
I know that is a level. Yeah. Okay, 6. Who I got winning, man, I have no idea. I don't know.
Who's the champ right now?
Charlotte.
Oh. That's how much I've been paying attention.
You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I don't care.
At all?
Dude, if Sasha was going to be hurt, then you should have just had Bayley come in and just do one-on-one with Bayley. The fact that you flip-flop back and forth, like, oh, is Charlotte going to be here? Is Charlotte not going to be here? I mean, Sasha or whatever, because you had the right idea. SummerSlam, Sasha beats Charlotte. She's the champ or whatever. But you have this ice cream cone and you're putting in chocolate sprinkles, chocolate syrup, gummy worms, all this other candy. You know, if you eat all of this, you're gonna get diabetes because it's a lot of fucking sugar.
Yeah.
And at some point you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a couple of bites. I'm not gonna finish this whole thing. That's what this feels like. This feels like too much too soon. Not to mention, it feels like just. Obviously it was just last year, but it still feels fresh. It still doesn't feel fresh that we're getting these 3 women that were such a big deal in NXT instead of taking your time with them. Mm-hmm. Instead of giving us Sasha versus Charlotte up until Survivor Series, then give us Charlotte versus Bayley up until Royal Rumble, and then fuck it. If you want to put all three of your eggs in a basket, give me Charlotte versus Sasha versus Bayley at WrestleMania to really cap off the women's revolution. But right now,
there, all that you just said, I already got tired of listening to it. No, because it's too much. Sasha and Charlotte and Bayley. Yeah. Okay, backstage shit aside and news things aside, where's Paige at? Give us Emma. Give us. Get Nia on the main roster somewhere inside of the main jobbers. I'm tired of seeing these 3. I said this before. I harp on this for a couple weeks now. SmackDown, all their women have something to do. For the most part. Mm-hmm. I think Naomi and maybe...
And we're waiting on Eva Marie.
No, you are. But it's just one of those things where at least it makes it seem like everything's more focused and it has more direction on SmackDown, whereas Raw just, okay, we have 2 hot things right here. What else are we going to do with them? Well, I don't know. Let's throw more people in there. And I don't know. It's like a mess. It's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess.
Who do you have winning?
I don't care.
Okay. That narrows it down.
Like I seriously, you said it. You don't care. Yeah. I don't care. Why do we have to say who's going to win if we don't really care?
I'll say Sasha just for the sake of picking somebody.
Do either of you care about? Oh, you have something?
Well, no. I was just going to say you kind of touched on it right now, Trav.
You ain't touching nothing.
Another Ask HWR thing that came from Hector. Who do you think has a better women's division, SmackDown or Raw? Why?
SmackDown. Hands down, dude.
SmackDown. Yeah. It's just so fucking obvious right now. Everything is fresh on there. Yeah. Everything is fresh. Everything is new. And nothing has been like beat to death. And yes. I know that it's just Sasha and Becky and Charlotte. And that is new, so to speak. And they've been on their brand just as long as the girls have been on SmackDown on their brand. The brand split has been the same amount of time. But God damn, it just feels like it's been so laborious getting through the women's division stuff on Raw. And it's just so convoluted and back and forth. And I think maybe Sasha doing the hot potato thing with the women's title. Oh, I got it. Oh, here you go, Charlotte. I took it off of you and now it's back. And then like, I don't know.
It's the same. It's going back and forth.
It's the part that's fresh because we've never seen Becky against Alexa Bliss.
Right.
As far as I know.
Right.
I've already seen these girls. What could have been better is set up a number 1 contenders match like SmackDown did to set up their first women's champ and build Nia Jax as the unstoppable woman. Charlotte can't beat her. Paige can't beat her. Oh, fuck. We're going to get Sasha versus Nia Jax for the first time. I want to see that. Oh shit, Bayley, the only chick in that roster that's beaten Nia. Bayley can't beat her? Okay, I want to see where this is going. Mm-hmm. This is the same. This doesn't feel new. It just doesn't. And it sucks because they had that opportunity. Odd transition. They had this opportunity in the main title picture when they brought Finn in. That's the biggest thing we liked about Finn Balor. Not so much that, he deserved to be on the main roster. Holy fuck, he won clean over Roman, and you have him in the main event against Seth Rollins of SummerSlam. That was fresh as fuck. Finn got hurt. That freshness is gone. They haven't tried to replace it. And it would have been good to at least have that with Nia Jax. Like, oh, shit, this chick from the women's division is tearing house. Yeah. I want to see who's going to stop her. If Charlotte, a Flair, can't beat Nia Jax, Bayley, the one chick that already beat Nia Jax, suddenly can't beat Nia Jax. All right.
Here's the thing. It's not too late for that idea. After Clash of Champions, whoever wins, Sasha or Charlotte, next night on Monday night on Raw, Mick Foley comes out and says, we are going to have a 6-pack challenge for the number 1 contender for the next pay-per-view or whatever.
And then hot off of her win against Alicia Fox the night before, Nia's going to go in there and fucking wreck shop.
Paige is off for suspension.
Yep.
If she's going to be on TV, she's going to be jobbing out left and right, so might as well put her in a...
Oh, yeah.
So it's...
Emma's cleared.
She was special referee or something?
She was a referee. So she's cleared.
We need more faces in this women's division stat.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not talking...
Fresh faces.
I'm not
fresh
talking
matchups.
I'm not talking jobbers or anything. I'm just talking... You have talent, get them on the fucking TV. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm tired of these same 4 or 5 women that are just in this one storyline. That's all they're doing.
And you might disagree with me on this. And pull the fucking trigger on Dana. Pull it. This whole thing about her teasing the fact that she might actually be smarter than Flair. Do it. Like, she's the one that's been coming up with these ideas that kind of backfired. It's kind of Charlotte's fault, but Charlotte's still the one who's fucking abusing her. Pull the fucking trigger on it. Have her have that orientation change where she goes from heel to face. Sure, I don't like her. I don't think she's a good wrestler, whatever. But do something different with her. Do something interesting. Get her out of that fucking storyline. Have her do something different. Let Sasha and Bayley go do this thing. Let Charlotte go do that thing. Have Dana over here do something different. Pull the fucking trigger on all of them.
Everything's so tied up in this little ball of this main event.
If Dana's character gets enough sympathy, and 6 months from now, Dana's the one that beats the unstoppable Nia Jax.
Holy shit, that blow my fucking mind.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. Okay, what's next on the fucking pay-per-view?
The main event.
All right, thank you.
Rollins versus Owens. Anticipation level.
Man, I want to say it's like an 8 or 9 because it's fucking Rollins and Owens.
On paper. Holy shit.
Yeah.
On paper. Damn, that sounds good.
Are you going to... Okay, because the way you said
that. However, because I thought this was...
Yeah. Man, it just feels like it's been put together like
at the last minute because somebody got hurt.
Yeah.
Or at the last minute because there's only been 2 real weeks worth of build because the last pay-per-view was less than 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago was Backlash.
I know, but still, it's a SmackDown pay-per-view. Goddamn.
Well, I get I get booking wise, like they were trying to recover from SummerSlam because of Finn.
Yeah.
But even then, like I want to like this match. I want to be anticipated for this match, but maybe it's because I don't know where they're going with it. Like especially with Rollins, like he's a tweener right now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I say he's a face because he's been fighting heels, but they can go either way with him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The priority from the beginning when Owens won the title and Rollins came out to bitch, the priority was not Rollins versus Owens for the title. Mm-hmm. The priority was Rollins against the McMahons to find out why he got fucked over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's on the centerpiece right now. It's not the fact that we're getting Rollins versus
Maybe that's
Owens.
what it is.
Yeah. That's secondary. The fact that it's secondary, but headlining your pay-per-view is not good.
It's not secondary. It's tertiary. Here's what's actually secondary. Tertiary. Here's what's actually secondary. Not only the fact that it's Rollins versus the McMahons, but also why did Triple H? The secondary part is why did Triple H pick Kev? Why didn't he pick anybody else in that 4-way match? Why did he pick Kev? What does he see in Kev? So not only why did Triple H stab Seth? Why did Triple H help Kevin? And then you could get to the third thing, which is, them two actually having a feud on the match. The biggest hole in this whole fucking thing is where the fuck is Triple H? Why don't we even have clues as to what's going to happen? Like, okay, I get it where you want to tease us. You want to keep us a hanging cliffhanger, whatever. But you haven't even done that. He's just been MIA. We haven't even gotten a tease.
His wife, who presumably lives in the same house and have conversations with him,
has no idea. Supposedly. You know, like
that's going to be the bigger issue if the end game is Seth Rollins versus Triple H at WrestleMania. Not only are there too many Raw pay-per-view events, but there's too many SmackDown events in between this entire thing for us to keep ourselves interested enough to give a shit about this match when we get there.
On top of that, there's too many fucking NXT events because if you want to say that you're going with the brand split and Shane has SmackDown and Stephanie has Raw, what has been the fucking fantasy of the IWC amongst all this?
Triple H
has NXT.
Takeover. Yeah.
Hell, when he came out and he handed the belt to fucking Kevin Owens, all the fucking conspiracy theories online was, oh man, Triple H gave it to him because of the NXT stuff and blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is the NXT, invasion or whatever, the third brand, da, 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 da. Dude, if you're talking about having the fatigue just from Raw and SmackDown events, if you throw NXT in the mix and you're giving all your fan base the anxiety of what the hell's going to happen for all of this surrounding the Universal title, how it could affect all three brands, holy fuck, that's going to be way too much that this Marky Hart can handle.
Who do you have winning?
If this is all hot-shotted, if this is all just a placeholder for Finn to get healthy and to come back and give it back to Finn, then keep it on Owens. Because if Owens is his placeholder, if Owens is his surrogate, there's no point in taking it off of him and running somewhere else and hot-shotting another thing.
He's been gone for like 6 months. He ain't come. He's not coming back anytime soon.
There's no guarantee that Finn will even make it to WrestleMania if they're trying to hold off for Finn Owens at WrestleMania.
So. My prediction, I'm going to say Owens is going to win. He's a heel.
I got Owens winning too.
I think Jericho might play a factor into it.
Yeah.
If he's not dead from his match before, but
I don't see Rollins as newly minted face. I don't think he's going to be the champ right now.
He has to chase.
He's going to chase it. Appearance by Triple H to help Owens again, but this time maybe on Raw we'll actually get to hear.
Yeah, if that happens again, if we get another appearance from Triple H, god damn it, I want fucking answers, or at least a tease, something. Give me something a little bit more other than, oh, he just went in there and he helped him. Like storyline wise, storytelling wise,
there's no story.
Well, yeah, we've already gotten that point in the storyline of, okay, we know that Triple H wants this guy and not this guy. Now the progression of the story is why? What happened? Why did he make his decision? And what is his means to an end? When you're trying to graph a storyline, or if you're trying to be a writer or something, you want to get to certain points and then you fill in those points. They're still on this point and they haven't moved. And if he comes out and he helps Kevin Owens again, and that's all we get, then they're still at this point and they haven't moved. So we need to have more.
What do you think of the whole show?
6. That's being generous again.
I'll get a 5.
Okay. You?
4.
Okay.
You're not even gonna watch it that night, right?
Matter of fact, I'm not.
Oh, well, then you'll get nice and spoiled by the time you watch it.
Oddly enough, one of the theme song for Clash of Champions from Young Guns is actually one of the bands that I'm going to be watching this Sunday at Houston Open Air. It's an all-day concert. So Avenged Sevenfold, Deftones, Chevelle, Ghost, Amity Affliction, Young Guns. That is going to take up the entire day, so I'm not going to be able to watch the pay-per-view live. I might sneak in a match or two late in between the bands, but I'm not going to be able to sit down and dissect like we normally do for the show.
Okay.
And at this point, I think right now I'm more interested in what happens on Raw the next night than I am pay-per-view, which shouldn't be the case, but that's how Raw has me right now. So
okay.
I believe that's every team.
Oofta.
Thank God. I mean, ooh, wow, what a show.
Well, we would have been finished earlier if we didn't have all those technical difficulties.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's that. We will come at you again same time next week. Now it sounds like you have something to do. You're not actually watching the pay-per-view. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe see if we could at some point implement all these changes that we talked about last week with the episode 200. We had said we might do other little things here and there, throw up stuff on the Facebook Live, maybe throw in other little.
Let's work on our live feeds first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Quit dropping microphones, Chris. Bitch. All right. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy.